Do you have that one friend who seems to know an insufferable amount about a lot of random subjects? The person who chimes in with the odd and sometimes highly disturbing fun fact. Well, my name is Carly, and I am that friend. I often find myself wondering about topics that range from the history of certain holidays to what makes some wines expensive and some a little on the cheaper side. So I make use of that mini supercomputer I carry everywhere and just look it up. Lately, I have decided to share the random knowledge that I acquire with all of you lovely listeners. So welcome to I'm Already Looking It Up. Let's have a drink and learn a thing or two. Hello. You're listening to I'm Already Looking It Up, the podcast where I, your host, research a random topic and tell you, my lovely listeners, all about it. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so today's topic is traumatizing animal facts. There is a really good reason that I picked this topic. Excuse me. So, I used to work in an office with one of the greatest people ever, one of my best friends, and sometimes, just for the funsies of it, and because I am who I am, I would randomly tell her some kind of weird animal fact, and it was almost always, traumatizing to her. She would just be like, no way, and it was so great. I loved it. It was such a fun little thing we had. So her birthday was in May. I'm pretty late on this, but for her birthday, I wanted to tell you guys some traumatizing animal facts. Now, if you're a big fan of Casual Geographic, you'll probably know some of these. I watch his videos and everything. Like, I have his book. I have on my desk at work, I have a desk calendar from his book. So definitely love him. I would definitely say go look at him because he knows a lot, and he's amazing, and I love his style of video. So anyway, we're gonna just talk about some traumatizing animal facts there. And when I say animal, I don't mean just mammals, okay? I mean it's an umbrella term, and I'm using it for insects, arachnids, mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles, all of it covers everything. Because and fish, because those are all animals, guys. They're all animals. Funnily enough, I have to tell this just because it's hilarious to me. You know how you grow up and you go to your 4th or 5th grade science class and you learn the families of animals, mammals, birds, all that stuff, right? I don't know who it was. I want to say it was my husband, but I'm not 100% sure. I said something about how birds are not mammals, and he was like, what? Birds aren't mammals? And I was like, yeah, birds are not mammals because mammals give live birth and birds lay eggs. He went, oh, I guess that's true. And he went, what are birds then? And I went, birds. Birds are birds. So I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was my husband. I definitely remember having this conversation. Or it was in a dream, but it was funny anyway. So, finally, here we go. To the animal facts. Again, these are just some things I pulled from some articles. And by the time, we'll see how much time we have when I'm done. Oh yeah, I really don't have a ton, but we can always look at some other things that are fun. So, the first one, kangaroos are ruthless mothers. Don't be fooled by the harmless seeming kangaroo that just hops around cutely. If in danger, a mother kangaroo will sacrifice its baby. The logical reason for this is because a baby can't reproduce, so it's up to the mother to keep herself alive so that the species can continue to thrive. A zookeeper from the North Georgia Zoo says that if a mother kangaroo has multiple babies, during times when the moms can't support them all, she will keep one to be alive. Unlike humans, kangaroos definitely let their kids know who is their favorite. So, this is actually very common in a lot of animal species I've found, just from like watching Casual Geographic and looking at animal things and blah, blah, blah. This can even be true with some birds. I forget which type, but there are types of birds that will only keep one egg, or like once the eggs hatch, they will kind of figure out who's going to be the better offspring, like stronger and can support themselves, all that stuff, and then they let the other one just kind of die. So like I know we love animals here. I love animals for sure, all of them, even snakes, even though they kind of creep me out. But excuse me. But just know, if you don't already, animals are brutal, man. Like, you would think a lot of people allude to animals as being so innocent and they only do what, in their nature and blah, blah, blah. But some of these animals' nature is to be pieces of shit. Okay? Okay. But honestly, from, a survival point of view, it kind of makes sense. Okay, so the next one is, if you remember Charlotte's Web, this animal fact is probably going to traumatize you, because how at the end of Charlotte's Web, Charlotte dies and then her babies hatch, and well, just like the ladybug is a bit of a cannibal, so are some species of spiders. The process is called matrophagy, and it happens after the mother has depleted her resources by producing a nourishing fluid that they feed to their babies by mouth. Once the mother has no more fluid, the baby will crawl on top of her and start eating its mother. Talk about an ungrateful baby. So yeah, there you go. Baby spiders will indeed eat their mother after being born. So you can only imagine what Wilbur's little reaction would have been to seeing that. So yeah, but I've always kind of known that like the mother dies in like the process of having babies. I didn't realize that they ate her. So pretty common thing. Now, the next one is female penguins will kidnap others' chicks. Those adorable waddling penguins you love can actually be baby-stealing meanies if they lose their own chicks. While the kidnapping only lasts from anywhere between a few hours to a week, it's not as if the kidnapper returns the baby chick when she loses interest. It's actually worse. The kidnapping penguin will abandon her stolen chick, leaving it to fend for itself and likely perish. This one I did know from Casual Geographic as well. Honestly, okay, the only animal he's ever ruined for me is probably otters, because I already knew dolphins were assholes. But he ruins a lot of animals for people. But I still think he has like some really cool insights into the animal kingdom and stuff. So this is something he's talked about before, that baby chicks, or penguins will kidnap baby chicks and then abandon them pretty quickly afterwards, which is kind of sad, but also like, well, it's what they do. And the parents don't ever come back for the baby chicks, so usually it just kind of dies. And then there's also, he talks a lot about sex in the animal kingdom, which is fair. I mean, honestly, most animals' goal in life is to like breed and take care of themselves and eat and find shelter, be safe, that kind of thing, and continue the population. So he does talk about sex a lot, and I don't mind talking about sex with animals. in general, or sex with people. It's, all kind of the same thing. Animals are weird, just like people are weird. And I know he's talked before about how male penguins will straight up have sex with anything with or without a pulse. That there's been reports of male penguins doing it with the ground, doing it with penguin chicks that are dead or alive, doing it with like dead penguin parts, like a head. So yeah, and he always finishes it up with like to completion. So like they finished, they did the do all the way through. So yeah, that I hope that didn't ruin penguins for you. I also don't understand it, and I'd have to look more into it, but I don't know how that works since penguins are one of the birds who have cloacas that don't get penisy like ducks and swans do, or I could be wrong about that. So I'll have to look that up. But that was yeah, baby penguins. They got a hard life. All right. The next one. Dolphins like to bully and torture others. I did know this. We know what you're thinking. How could such a majestic, calm creature like dolphins be so mean? Well, the unfortunate truth is that they can be actually quite violent, and when they're in a playful mood. Dolphins have been observed using baby sharks like volleyballs, and in one instance, ganging up on and killing porpoises in unexplained acts of aggression. So, dolphins are dicks in general. Just fucking awful, to be honest. They will also, I hate to call it rape because it is humanizing, an animal thing that an animal does. And that's not to say, non-consensual sensual sex is okay, but like all animals kind of do stuff, rapey stuff, and it's not great, but they're animals, and again, they're part of their point on this planet to them is eating, breeding, finding shelter, being safe. So trying to survive, that's about it. So yeah, dolphins will rape each other. Sorry, I'm not laughing about that, but they will, there's definitely been cases of them doing it to either gender, and they will also, like, there's been reported cases of, like, dolphins going after humans in that way, so that's interesting. Honestly, there's been reported cases of humans going after dolphins in that way, so, vice versa, dolphins are not great. And there's also, when it comes to bullying other animals, dolphins also will take a pufferfish and pass it back and forth and get high off of its toxins, basically. So there's that too. They're definitely not great. Orcas are worse, in my opinion. I do love them. I think they're beautiful, majestic animals, but I do not want to fuck with them. I don't even want to go to, like, a place where orcas are kept. One, because I don't agree with it, for just to start out there. Like, yes, I think zoos can be helpful. Aquariums can be helpful in a lot of ways. I think that as conservation dedicated facilities, they're awesome. However, some places are not that great. SeaWorld. And I don't agree that, something like an orca that's not necessarily, like, it's not endangered, it's not, yes, it is kind of a rare animal to see, and it's cool that some people have gotten the opportunity to do that, but they do not need to be kept in aquariums. They don't need to be kept in theme parks or shows or anything like that. Just let them be in the wild. That's where they belong. And that's where they live. So I have very strong opinions on orcas. Maybe I will have to make that an episode because I have a lot to say about it, and I will argue. It's like it's the hill I will die on kind of thing. So there you go. All right, the next one is margays are psychological manipulators. These jungle cats may appear to be friendly if you happen to spot them in the Amazon rainforest, but these kitties are nothing like your typical house pet. The way they survive is downright evil. When margays are hungry, they will mimic the cry of their intended prey to lure them over. According to National Geographic, it's the first documented case of a cat using vocal imitation as a hunting device. So, I could have looked these up and remember what they look like. I'm sure I've seen pictures of them before, but a margay. What does a margay look like? Okay, I know what this is. Okay, so it's like those, they're almost like little leopard-looking things, but they have, like, the rounded ears and the really, really big eyes. So, that's a margay. It's quite adorable looking, honestly. But it's, yeah, it's pretty vicious. So I love talking about big cats. I love talking about cats. Honestly, I love talking about a lot of things. But this one of the things I enjoy. When I was a kid in, like, science, I was always the person who, like, talked about tigers and lions and all that stuff. Whenever we had to research animals, I almost always picked rainforest if I had to research a biome. And yeah, so I love talking about big cats. Tigers used to be my number one, my favorite. I still love them. Don't get me wrong. I actually don't really know what my favorite animal is, apart from, like, I have different sections of favorite animals. Like, my favorite fish / like sea animal are sharks. My favorite, my favorite, like, domesticated animal is cats. My favorite big cat is, tigers. So it's hard to kind of, I have one, but I don't at the same time, So anyway, yeah, cats, big cats. Big cats are great. I love them. Polar bears are vicious predators. Polar bears may look cute and cuddly, but they are the world's largest land predator, often stalking and breathing holes. The breathing holes seals make in the ice. Using their excellent sense of smell, polar bears wait until they detect the seal's breath, then reach into the hole and drag the seal out onto the ice. Male polar bears have been known to attack and kill prey twice their size, including walruses, beluga whales, and narwhals. No orcas, though? You don't fuck with an orca, I'm telling you. In the wild, they will hunt down animals and have amazing hunting strategies, and they also test hunting strategies, so that's insane. They're very, very smart and very scary. Yeah, I like them, I don't want to be near one. So yeah, but what was I talking about? Polar bears. Polar bears are interesting. They're the strongest bear on the planet. Because they are fully carnivorous. And I was talking to my husband about this the other day. I pointed out that they were fully carnivorous, and I was like, that's, so interesting. Because most animals actually are honestly more omnivorous than any specific category. Because, any animal is going to do what they can to find the food that they can. Some animals are weird about it, like deer will eat bones, weirdly enough. They've eaten flesh. So there's that. Deer are opportunistic in a way, scavengers, where if there's not enough food available, they'll eat whatever they find. And, pigs can eat anything. There's so much out there that shows us that we have all these classifications for these things, but they're not set in stone. We think they are, because some scientists centuries ago or whatever came up with it. But they're not. They're not set in stone. So do your research. Research things. Understand things. But also make sure you're checking your facts. But yes, polar bear. I keep getting off track with polar bears. Polar bears, yeah, are fully carnivorous, and they're big and they're mean, and they may be starting to move into human territory because the Arctic is getting too much for them. It's warming up too fast. They don't have a lot of land now. So, yeah, keep an eye out on that one. That's great. I love people. We ruin everything. Okay, so the next one. Slow loris monkeys have poisonous elbows. The doe-eyed slow loris is a popular exotic pet, but these little fur balls are one of the only poisonous mammals in the world. Normally, no more than 15 inches long, slow lorises produce a toxic secretion from the brachial gland in the upper arm that can cause a severe allergic reaction in other mammals. When threatened, the creatures lick the secretion and bite the predator, delivering their poison into the wound. Oof. That's rough times for the animal that they bite. I don't want to get bitten by anything. Honestly, it's too scary. I don't even want, I can't even, like, consider the idea of a dog biting me, because then I'd have to go get, like, rabies shots, and someone might have to put down their dog, and I'd feel terrible, because I don't want someone to have to put down their dog or any of their pets for any reason. So, yeah. So slow lorises are cool. I don't know if any of you know what they are, but they're neat little monkey things. I don't remember if they're actually monkeys or if they're related to lemurs. I think they're related to lemurs, I believe, but they're also the ones who have, okay, they have like paws that have fingers, but there's some of them who have like a big stick-long finger, I think, or that might be a different one, but yeah, slow loris, I'm pretty sure it's a lemur of some kind, or maybe it's not, I don't know, could be wrong. Please feel free to correct me, just don't be a dick about it. Okay, so my next fact is snails have razor-sharp teeth. How terrifying can an animal really be if it moves at an average speed of 0.03 miles per hour and leaves behind a trail of goo? One look into a snail's mouth will tell you. Gastropods, including snails and slugs, have thousands of tiny teeth located on a ribbon-like structure called a radula. Depending on other species, they use teeth as poison harpoons. They use these teeth as poison harpoons to cut prey, or in the case of the ghost slug, to seize and devour earthworms. Yum, yum, yum. Suck it up like spaghetti. All right. Excuse me. Next one. Starfish have ghoulish eating habits. It may come as a little surprise that these unusual creatures have a few biological eccentricities. Yeah. They see through tiny eye spots at the tip of each arm, for example. But their eating habits qualify as downright grotesque. To consume a mussel or clam, the five-pointed critter pries the shell open, slightly ejects its stomach from its mouth into the shell, digests the animal, then slides its stomach back into its own body. Hot. Honestly. No, I'm kidding. I did not know that they saw through little, did they call them eye spots? Yeah, eye spots at the end of their arms. That's kind of weird. I don't like that. That's a little creepy. Ugh. That's more creepy than the way they eat things. All right, and then the last one on this list, and then we'll talk about, I'll look for another list or something. So ladybugs are cannibals. These brightly colored beetles aren't afraid to turn on each other when food is scarce. If it's a matter of survival, adult ladybugs will eat other freshly molted or newborn ladybugs. The beetles also have a wicked defense mechanism. When startled, ladybugs emit a foul-smelling fluid from their leg joints that help scare away predators. Pretty sure we have all, at some point in our time, had a ladybug excrete that on us, and all of us were probably like, ew, it peed. But that's not pee. It's just a gross liquid to try and get people to, yeah, that kind of thing. Ugh. Sorry, my phone went off, and I'm betting it was my mom. Nope. I don't know then. All right. Anyway, moving on. Let's see what we can do here. We can look up some, because I looked up traumatizing animal facts before, and usually get a lot of stuff about how animals attack and all that, and that's not necessarily what I'm looking for. I mean, it's fine, but it's also like kind of boring. I want to know crazy stuff. What do they do? What does their body do? How do they mate? All that weird stuff, because I'm an odd person who finds it fascinating. All right, so here we go. We got 13 terrifying animal facts. This frog will kill you with a single touch. I think most of us know about the golden poison dart frog. It's the size of a paperclip, but don't be deceived by its tiny size. Its skin is coated in a lethal toxin that leaves the nerves and muscles of its victims inactive, leading to death. This little frog contains about 1 milligram of poison, enough to kill 10 to 20 humans if the poison reaches their bloodstreams. So there you go. That's poisonous dart frogs. Don't touch them, or let them touch you. The species doesn't get the nickname Black Death for nothing. Cape buffaloes are extremely dangerous because of their unpredictable nature. That, plus their sheer strength and robust physique, can knock out prey in an instant. They stalk and circle their prey before charging at speeds of up to 56 kilometers per hour. So, if you see one peeping at you through the African savanna grasses, you'd better duck for cover. Yeah, I don't even want to mess with, like, regular cows or buffalo or bulls or any of that, so I don't want this one. I don't want that at all. So this next one should be one Jennifer knows. That's my friend who this is for. Because I've told her this one before, and she was like, no fucking way. There are at least 8 species of horned lizard that can aim and squirt blood from their eyes. They restrict the blood flow to their head until the pressure builds up, rupturing the vessel in their eyelids. They do this as a defense mechanism to confuse their predators. You know, honestly, you would be pretty confused if, like, you were trying to get a lizard and it suddenly was squirted blood at you, hit you in the face. You'd be pretty confused. Meerkats are actually baby-killing beasts, another little cute animal to be ruined. If you thought your family dynamics were crazy, you haven't seen anything. The dominant female meerkat in a clan controls breeding and kills the young of those that aren't her own, ensuring that her own offspring has the best chance of survival. Again, kind of fucked up, but also, like, they're animals. They don't have human constructs like we do. Sometimes they're better at stuff than we are. Alright, the next one is Australia's home to possibly the most venomous marine animal in the world. Duh, it's Australia. Let's see. The largest box jellyfish is common to Australia's northern oceans. Lucky us, and its sting can cause cardiac arrest in its victims. With tentacles that can grow up to 3 meters, it's probably not ideal to go swimming with these horrors during the summer holidays. I see, this makes me like not want to go to Australia necessarily. I would love to see what Australia is like, but I don't want animals all up in my business all the time. But this, like, so it's like, how do you even, want to go in the ocean with something like this? Or like, I know I've heard reports of people who have accidentally stepped on these on the beach because they wash up on the beach. So that's like, I don't want that. Nope. I am a complete chicken about everything. All right, next one. One slip of the foot and you're dead with these venomous snails. While they might look beautiful, cone snails have one of the world's most painful and fatal stings. They fire a harpoon that can cause muscle paralysis and respiratory failure. Nicknamed the cigarette snail, its victims are said to only have enough time to smoke a cigarette before death. Again, just why? Why would you want to do that? Number 7, you're more likely to be killed by a cow than a shark. Yes, true. Yep, you read that right. Most people die annually from getting kicked or stepped on by a cow. Also, it's said that cows all over the world simultaneously face the same direction while grazing. How's that for conspiracy theory? I like that. And that's fair. That's fair. We also encounter cows more often than humans encounter sharks. And also, honestly, most sharks will just leave you alone if you just don't fuck with them. They're not interested in humans. Humans don't taste good to them. That's like been scientifically proven, I believe. So, yeah, worry more about your cows, because cows can be mean. A lot of them can be. So, the next one I'm pretty sure is a common fact that most people know about animals, but female black widow spiders will often eat their male partner while mating. Yum, that's some great foreplay there. I guess it's not foreplay, it's wow. So, some awesome, love that for them. The next one is sea otters are so cute, but they can also be aggressive killers. There have been reports that these lovable sea otters are serial harassers. When males mate, they'll grab the female and aggressively bite her face. Not really the perfect date. They'll also shove her head underwater sometimes. They're also the type of animal that I mentioned earlier that, like, quote unquote, rapes other animals in its species and stuff, so it's not great. It's not great. Not a good time. These bats, they want to suck your blood. Aptly named vampire bats, the most common one feeds solely on the blood of mammals, including humans. They'll identify a warm spot on your skin and bite, then create an incision, with their razor-sharp teeth, lapping up the blood from the wound, best to stay out of dark alleyways at night. But he's kind of cute. His little eyes, I love him. And the Parasite of the Year award goes to Simothua exigua, also known as the tongue-eating louse. It's a parasite that latches onto a fish's tongue and feeds on the blood vessels. Eventually, the tongue falls off, and the parasite attaches itself to what's left, becoming the fish's new tongue. Isn't nature wonderful? It's beautiful. Gross. Have you ever seen that, though? Oh. I wonder, well, those were its babies. Every time I hear this, I think of the scene in Finding Nemo with the mom or dad, I guess, dropping the, baby fish off at school, and they all, like, right in his mouth. That may not be the same thing as this, but it's what I see in my head is a bunch of these other little tiny bug-like things. Yeah. All right. I'm Australian, I'm cute, and I'm poisonous, says the platypus. The male platypus has half-inch poisonous spurs located on the inner side of each back ankle. Scientists believe that the male uses these spurs to compete with rivals during the breeding season. A kick from one of those bad boys is potent enough to kill small animals and cause intense pain in humans. So yeah, platypuses, it's platypuses. Platypuses are very interesting animals, and they can be dangerous. They're poisonous spurs. Wouldn't it be venomous spurs, or is it poison? I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, platypuses. They don't do much. No, they don't do much. All right. This is so cheesy, too, at the end. It's true, but it's cheesy. The most terrifying animal of all is, with over 7.4 billion people and counting, the human population is putting immense pressure on our planet as demand for Earth's natural resources grow. What's terrifying is that Australia is among the countries responsible for over 50% of global biodiversity loss. Now that's a horrific statistic. Like, yes, but cheesy. All right. Yeah, we could do. I think that's where I got that from. We could do. Yeah. We could do something like this. So this will be the last one I read. A lobster's bladder is in its head. Lobster's bladder is in its head. When males fight, they squirt each other in the face with their pee. Wonderful. The sheephead fish has a foul way of protecting itself at night. The California sheephead fish cocoons itself in a layer of mucus at night so predators can't sense them. That's disgusting, but if it works, it works. The sea is full of wee, and that's a good thing. Whale and fish pee helps keep the ocean ecosystem healthy as it's full of nitrogen and phosphorus. You could say it's the trickle-down effect. Amazing. Giraffes pick their nose. There's a reason. Giraffes use their giant tongues to rummage for boogies. There's a reason why this chipmunk smells like a toilet. Siberian chipmunks scare away predators by covering themselves in snake urine. Gross. The marine iguana clears its nose with a blast of snot. Marine iguanas have special glands in their noses that remove salt so that they can sneeze it out in their snot. Gross. Don't touch the Antarctic's ice without washing your gloves afterward. Around 3% of the ice on the Antarctic glaciers is penguin pee. Here's the reason why parrotfish burp at bedtime. Parrotfish burp out a mucus blanket at night to sleep on. No waterproof duvet for this one. Ew. Cheetahs protect their homes using a natural method. Cheetahs wee around their home to warn off invaders. A lot of pee in this one. Bonobo parents go above and beyond when keeping their babies clean. Bonobo monkeys clean out their babies' nostrils by sucking out the boogers. Lovely. Never accept a snack from a rat. Rats can't vomit, so it's dangerous for them to eat anything poisonous. When they find something safe, they pee on it and let other rats know it's okay to eat. Gross. Is that what Ratatouille was doing? Or, Remy was doing? Did he pee on stuff to let people know it was fine? Or could he just sniff it? I don't know. He could sniff it. I knew that. I know that, but I mean, like, come on. 12. Seals and sea lions don't pick their noses, but are equally disgusting. Okay. Seals and sea lions don't pick their noses. They hawk up their phlegm and spit it out. Ew. Well, you gotta get rid of it somehow. The dagu doesn't use light bulbs at home. It uses wee. A lot of pee here. The South American dagu's urine reflects ultraviolet light, which it can see. It uses to mark the passageway of its burrow. Wonderful. Snail mucus is really slippery. Snails ooze mucus so they can move around by sliding on it. Did you know snails have 4 noses? No wonder they're so slimy. Dope. Stags mark their territory with their own wee. Well, a lot of animals do that. This is not new. Sambar stags soak their antlers in urine and then rub them against tree trunks to mark their territory. Well, they don't do exactly that, but they do mark it with pee, usually. Violet sea snails get around using mucus. Didn't it just say that? The violet sea snails gets around by making a bubble raft out of its own mucus. Okay? All right? Bush babies wee on their paws so they don't get lost. To help them get more traction on branches and mark their route home, bush babies will pee on their hands. Still a lot of pee. The upside-down jellyfish is called the booger of the sea. The upside-down jellyfish attacks by blasting out snot packed with venom-filled bombs that contain a nasty sting. No wonder jellyfish are nicknamed the boogers of the sea. Capuchin monkeys pick their nose with a stick. You got fingers, man. Gorillas and chimpanzees are always picking their noses. Capuchin monkeys use a stick to pick green gold out of theirs. Maybe that's more hygienic, actually. I don't know. Snails move along using a big, sticky foot. The whole underside of a snail is basically like a foot. It helps it get around very slowly. No snails can't wear trainers. Well, yeah. Vultures deliberately poo on themselves. This one I did know. Vultures are not only disgusting because they eat rotting bodies of slain animals and have weird wrinkly heads and cold dead eyes. This article is another one of those articles that seems very, very judgmental about these animals. They're just doing what they gotta do to survive. Did you know that when a vulture is hot, they cool off by pooing down their legs? Poo that actually lowers the vulture's body temperature by protecting its scaled legs from the desert sun. Next time your grown-up is asking you to put on sunscreen, don't complain. That's fine. It's a little judgmental. It's just mean. They're just doing what they gotta do. I thought this only had 17 facts. Okay. Well, there is an end in sight, so we'll keep going. Now I gotta figure out where I was. Is it flies? Flies poo and vomit on food. Knew this one as well. Flies have some disgusting habits. They eat poo for a start. When a fly lands on your food, it vomits a lovely mix of saliva and enzymes to break it down into mush. Then they lap up the grossness with their tongue. There's a reason flies aren't invited around for dinner. Owls don't have eyeballs. Don't worry, they do have eyes, but they're shaped more like cylinders and held in by their skull by things called sclerotic rings. Yeah. Guess what? Knew that. But also, did you know owls don't have ears? They only have ear holes. And if you, they're under their feathers on the side of their head. You go in and you look in their ear holes, you can see the backside of their what is their eye. So that's pretty nuts and kind of cool and something I want to see in person someday, but probably never will unless I get to go to like an owl sanctuary. Ooh, that'd be kind of cool if I could go to like an owl sanctuary or something. That'd be neat. I like owls. They're one of my favorites. They're my favorite bird. A wombat does cubed-shaped poo. As it takes so long for a wombat to poop, they have to hold loads of waste in their guts. The cube-shaped helps them store waste because the cubes fit together nice and neatly. Okay. The word shrimp comes from a German word. The word shrimp comes from the 14th century Middle Low German word shrimpen, which means to wrinkle. Cool. Some frogs live in elephant poo. Scientists have discovered that some frogs in Sri Lanka use Asian elephant poo as their home. Their research discovered that it makes for good shelter because of how dry the dung can be. We'd much prefer to live in a building, but that's our personal preference. Why you gotta be judgmental? They're animals. They do what they do. God. Leeches have 32 brains. This annelid's body has 32 parts, and there's a brain in each segment. While it has 32 brains, we've never seen a leech win a game show. Because it's a leech. Can't talk. God dang. So, it's just so judgmental. I don't know what it is. All right, rabbits eat their own poop. Yep, lots of animals do this. While this sounds disgusting, this is a natural way of rabbits making the most out of its nutrients it gets from its food. The type of poo it eats is called caicotropes and is packed with vitamins. It's perfectly normal. See, that was less judgmental. Platypus feed their young by sweating out milk. A duck-billed platypus has a tail like a beaver and a face like a duck, fur like an otter, and webbed feet. They're one of the few animals that produces both eggs and milk, and could theoretically make their own custard. This animal does not have nipples, but milk glands in their skin that it sort of sweats out. Awesome. Love that. I actually remember hearing that when learning about what a platypus was. So, but it's still cool. It's still an interesting thing. It's definitely interesting how it gets around the whole mammal thing by being like, I don't have nipples for milk. I sweat milk. So, take that. All right, kangaroos have a strange way of keeping cool. To lower their body temperature, kangaroos will lick their arms. As the saliva dries, it takes the heat out of their blood vessels and cools them down. It could always use a fan, but they're probably quite difficult to hold while they're bouncing around. It's true. And that's the last one. All right. Great. Cool. So that was fun. I love animal facts. They're fun. I love learning random things about animals. I love learning random things in general, but this one, about animals, always fun. Animals are great. Like I said in past episodes, I started listening to this podcast called Ologies. I'm a really big fan. A lot of the people she brings on are ologists of certain animals, which is cool. And they did have a herpetologist on there in the episodes I've seen. And it's actually kind of one of my favorite episodes because it made me laugh a lot. But also the herpetologist kind of helped me with my fear of snakes a little bit. Like, I still don't love them. I don't want one as a pet. But, like, it's kind of like any animal. Just kind of respect its space and don't do anything stupid. And that'll keep you safe. That's all you gotta do. So, animals are great. Honestly, study more about animals because they're fascinating. But I think that is where we will leave it for today. Thank you for taking the time to listen. And if you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'm going to try to say this at the end of every episode, but if I do have a full-time job, I don't necessarily need monetary support to keep this podcast going because it's just me doing my own research as I feel like it, and that's great. But if you would like to show your support for $1 a month, you can go to my Patreon at Wild Forest Productions. And you can check it out. You can check that out there. If I were to get enough support that I feel like this podcast is really gaining traction and there's going to be enough people to do this, I would love to add like a second tier where people could pick topics for me to research or to at least talk to me about a topic that they think would be a good topic. But right now, just kind of keeping it at that $1. If you do, go ahead and do it. And if you want me to, I can shout out something else for you, or I can shout out your own socials, or whatever you prefer for me to do. But otherwise, I think that's all I got. So thanks again. I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to I'm Already Looking It Up. If you're enjoying the podcast, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to my Patreon at patreon.com/wildforestproductions. Don't forget to check out all the social links below. Thank you!